I mean this one. This ain't getting past building regs, I'll tell you that. 12 months on, I am scraping historic cow dung off the concrete slab. Well, today's video is all about moving. The pros and cons of doing it yourself. It's not always the best way. This isn't Maggie's first rodeo. This is probably the 15th trip we've done with the trailer and the car. On top of a 7.5 ton lorry and a Luton. And we've still got more to go. Let's get some unpacking done. Then we'll set up a bit of a workshop and then we'll chat about moving. Oh, it's always the way that the actual units I need to put all the tools into are back there. The benefit of things that are in boxes is you can stack them higher and safer and strap them easy. These crates have been a really good help on the whole move because, I mean, I think we bought maybe a dozen to start with, and I bought, I think, another 30 since then. They're completely stackable. They're the ones with the lids, and for long-term storage especially, they've just worked out great. They paid, I think we paid £6 each for them. They're a mixture of supermarkets and New Look, Matalan, all sorts. These ones haven't got any holes in either, so they're completely not watertight. Well, I guess they are watertight. You're not going to transport your goldfish in them, but they are nice and secure and nothing's going to get damp from the bottom. And like I said, they're nice and strong, so you can stack them high. Obviously, lighter ones at the top. Well, I reverted to watching my own videos back so I could work out how all these units went together and where the mitre saw fits, because the worktops are cut for them. And in a bizarre change of events, this time last year we were self-levelling and screeding and sanding our floor ready for an epoxy finish. And 12 months on, I am scraping historic cow dung off the concrete slab, which is sloped and uneven. And as we kind of predicted when we made the unit, adjustable feet were the way to go. Well, we have a worktop. Saws on. I'm going to do my levelling just to make sure that the bed is the same height. Looks like it needs to come up a little bit, but we've got our adjustable feet for that. And the worktop just about is okay. It used to hang off the back quite a bit, and we've had to set our cabinets away from the wall because of the posts and things like that. And I'm not going to fix them to the wall. I think by the time they're loaded up, they're all fixed together. It should be fine as it is. Actually, there's a bit of movement. Maybe, if anything, once the worktop's fitted to the cabinet, I'll just put an L bracket, one this end onto that post and one that post. Then we haven't got to put anything running along the wall itself. So next week, when Joe's got 200 studs to cut to length, nice and easy. Stood in here, stop blocks, dust extraction, away we go. You don't know how good it feels to have made that happen. It's a couple of hours, but we built this so it could be transplanted, and that's what we've done. So we can start loading it up now. Everything's nice and level. You can see that the bed, see the bed of the saw, it's all flush. We still got a cheeky little space behind there. I haven't fixed the saw down yet, but remember, this saw doesn't need clearance behind, as long as we can get all of our cuts. I've got it so comes to around to about 55 and beyond 45 the other side. If ever we do need to get to 60, then all we do is just take out the saw, just pull it forward slightly, but I don't really want this hanging out anymore. Remember, this is the original milking parlour, so again it's got the dropped floor, that's why everything's on a slope, and it's got the pit bit down the middle for scraping all the muck out and drainage. So it's a bit of a trip hazard. We'll probably fill that in when we get a chance.
Right, we put it in that.
Just going to go straight back because the crane can't reach that far back in there. So I realised I hadn't really shot an outro to this video, and I said I was going to talk a little bit more about the move. There was a few comments in the last video about why we chose to move ourselves rather than use movers. And like most people who do move house themselves, they soon realise or regret that they should have got movers. So when we moved to our last house, we did, and we said, you know, that was well spent money. Now the problem is we had accumulated a vast amount of stuff. It was a huge house. There was obviously the 5 of us. We had our 2 businesses, plus all of the workshop, the sheds, and everything else outside, and building up kind of building materials and beams and timbers, sort of stuff that you wouldn't really be asking anyone to move. The other issue is we didn't know where it was going the other end. So if you were moving house and you were moving to a conventional house, then you would label stuff up and it would go off to the different rooms. Most of the loads that came up, we would need to actually decide on site each time where things are going, because we wanted to make sure we're not constantly moving stuff around. It would have been, one option is just to dump it all into the barn and then deal with it another day, but you know, double moving is always a pain. So in reality, it was more efficient for us to do it bit by bit. A lot of those trips we were coming up to the farm anyway, so they weren't that we were making that journey. Yes, sticking a trailer on the back cost a bit more in fuel, quite a bit more in fuel, but we still hopefully have saved a bit of money doing it, albeit it was a good bit of a workout. I was also having to do it each evening and pack at night and unpack at night, so it was never quite as efficient as it could have been if you were just filling a lorry. So we hired the 7.5 tonner, which is what Dad drove that weekend, and that was basically filled with just the workshop and materials. I don't think we did anything from in the house. All of the stuff from in the house fit in the trailer fine. Now, to give you an idea, in the trailer is a 10 foot, so it's what, 3 meters by 1.8. So essentially the same as probably a conventional Transit or, you know, a medium wheelbase Sprinter or something like that. We fit an awful lot in there, and it worked out really well in the end. And cost-wise, I don't know what we would have been charged, but I can tell you for one thing, it's probably 3 times a conventional 4-bed house. So whatever that would have cost us. And then on top of that, there was all the palleted stuff that was, you're not really going to be touched by your normal moving company. So we would have had to either do that bit ourselves or someone else. Anyway, that kind of just touched on how we moved up. So at least we've got everything out of the house now. The weekend just gone was actually our very last day at the house. Joe and I packed up and we left late Saturday evening. And it was a sad farewell. But, you know, we left it happy with what we'd done there. And hopefully the new owners are going to love it as much as we did. And yeah, I feel like it's time for a new chapter. And of course for you guys know that house pretty well now anyway. Farewell garden. You have drawn lots of blood, sweat and tears from me. But you've also given us a whole lot of fun. Now, I know I might be filming on my phone, but it's not an optical illusion and I haven't grown. This is the cottage that we're living in at the moment. It's low, I tell you that much. But we've only got another week here and then we're moving elsewhere. So yeah, it's quintessentially an English cottage, albeit very, very low. Even to the point that I can pretty much touch the ceiling, let alone the beams. They've given us some padding here. So the first beam you're forgiven on as you come in the door, but the rest of it is pretty low. Especially the bathroom. Excuse the mess in here. It's a small house for 5 of us. This one, this ain't getting past building regs, I'll tell you that. So I looked up because this is a listed cottage. This was 2 tiny cottages, I think. There's obviously this bit at the back here, little bread oven, completely wasted space back there. But the whole thing's built into a hillside, so all of this is all rock the other side. And it's a pretty chilly place to live. Hey Joe, what's it like living here?
My nose is a bit chilly.
It is chilly.
I'm allowed to wear my house coat and I haven't been told off yet.
No dressing gowns all round. This thing is not much good, it's more aesthetics than anything. So a couple of these in there take a few hours to warm up.
I keep checking.
There's also a lack of handrails up here, but beanbags, it's alright, it's fine.
It's a good job she's our third.
Yeah. And finally, chassis update is going to be in the next video. It's not looking good, I'm not going to lie, but I will save that for next time. But there you go. Thanks for watching. Remember, if you can, do it yourself, and we'll see you next time.